enough. Not enough. I'm not happy with that yet. Not satisfied. He's my friend and I'm going to see it to the very end. Al was the type that he never wanted to get anything. Even when we went and played golf, he wouldn't get a pass to pay free, to get away free. I had to go and get it for him. And then I had to yell at him until he got a doctor's permit so that he can get to play free. So what do? I found out in one of the papers I read that the French government was awarding this Jubilee medal for those that were in the Normandy invasion. So I said, Al, you're entitled to it. Yep. Doesn't mean he's going to get it. It means yep, that's Al. I said, well, I'm not going to let this go. I didn't let go on the other, I'm not going to let go on this. I'm going to get that medal for him, whatever it takes. Unfortunately, he passed away before I was able to do anything about it. So I said, wait, we're not going to end. I'm going to call Congressman Bishop, and I'm asking him to see if they can procure the medal. Well, the congressman got back to me and they said, unfortunately, this medal is only given to living veterans. So I pleaded a little bit, and the congressman called up. It's handled by the New York State Air Force Association that presents the medal, and they didn't have any medals. But they were able to find one last medal, and they decided to award him that medal. And then I found out that the congressman can't come here, which I just found out Friday, without going through proper channels. So there I am calling the base over here, Joe Sledge, and getting permission from him so that the congressman can come on the base. Because of security reasons, the congressional man can't come on without security being made aware of it. Now we found out that the congressman wasn't going to show up because they're in Washington. So there is no problem. I don't know what the problem is now because he's coming on this base and Joe Sledge don't know about it. So this is where we stand. I think that I had to fulfill my thoughts on the man. I happen to like Al very much. I'll miss him playing golf. There were two men that I had to watch every time I hit a ball, and they were behind me and I didn't know whether they collapsed. So we kept looking back and saying, where is Al? So, and then I convinced him to use a cart. And then one of the unfortunate things was Ricky Masters over here, she decided to drive him on a cart. And he says, never again. You know, we're playing over here for I don't know how many years, and she still doesn't know where she's going. But we had a good time. It was a foursome, Ricky and Lou, myself, and Al. And I finally taught Al, after all these years, that he was using the wrong club to hit a ball. We all learned. But he was a type that you couldn't help but like him. Quiet individual. We'll miss him. I used to probably get him all his coffee after a while when Irma wasn't around. He was the type of guy that you had to get him tea, and then I forgot to get him sugar, and I forgot to get him the bread and the butter, each one. Because you see, he never did anything for himself. I will tell you this. In all the years that I know, Irma did everything. You know, he was a smart man from the Bronx. He taught him right. I mean, he would just sit there, Mr. King. I mean, he was a king, I will tell you this. He never lifted his finger. Even when poor Irma was on dialysis, and I feel sorry for her, she still got up and got it. I said, Al, Move! Why should he? For 67 years he hasn't moved. But that was Al. That was the type of guy Al had. So this is why we're all here, to pay our respects for a man that is sorely missed by all of us. And I don't know what more to say. He's a man that grew up in the Bronx. And yes, I wanted to correct you. He was a Yankee fan, and I'll tell you why. You say he was a Met, and he could have been a Met, but growing up, there were only 3 teams when you grew up in the 50s. You were either a Yankee, a Dodger, or a Giant. The Mets were not around at that time.
He was a Giant.
So, no, that's football. But we used to have to talk all the time about that. But in fact, a couple of years ago, I called him up on a Sunday, and I says, "Come on, I'm going to take you for a surprise." And we took him to the Bronx, and we ate North Avenue, and then we drove through his neighborhood, so you can see where he came from. It was a very enjoyable day. So that's how much I care for Al.
Manny, I go back before you. He bowled on my team when we still worked for the Commack schools.
Did he really?
And yes.
No kidding.
Yes.
Yeah.
At Betts Lanes for many, many years. We even took first place and went to the celebration dinner.
You mean Irma didn't carry the ball?
He carried it home.
Unbelievable. It was a twosome. You saw one, you saw the other. You know, we're waiting for
But I'll tell you one thing about Al. Forget the drives.